I set the Happiness Club franchise up because the membership was growing nicely. I was working as a one-to-one therapist. That was all lovely. I started putting together a series of workshops for businesses of all shapes and sizes, teaching them how to help their people become more resilient, more emotionally resilient. Because I'd been that person in the workplace who had zero resilience. I had been that person in the workplace who was stressed, who was anxious, who didn't get any support from the workplace. Nobody at work knew that I felt that way. And I wanted to be able to help people at work manage their stress, manage their anxiety, build their resilience so that they could be happier, calmer, more relaxed, more comfortable in themselves at home and at work. And then I put together the Happiness Club's schools program. So I was approached by a primary school to help their children. And I'd been into schools and I'd run like one-off workshops here and there for year 6 or year 7 or year 11. But this primary school wanted me to dig a bit deeper. They wanted me to create something specifically for their school. And so I created this 4-week program whereby I went into the school 1 day a week for 4 weeks. And I worked with every year group in the school on every single one of those days. So I did half an hour in each year group class. And I taught them a range of mindfulness-based breathing exercises, positive mindset exercises. I talked to them about their emotions and how valid they are and how important they are and how everybody feels angry and everybody feels worried and everybody feels scared and everybody feels happy. I wanted kids to know that it was okay for them to feel however they felt, whenever they felt it. But I also wanted to empower them to be able to help themselves come out the other side of those feelings, those difficult, challenging feelings that the adults around them were telling them not to be angry and stop crying. I wanted them to know it was okay to feel that, but also to have the power to help themselves through feeling that. And so those were the techniques that I taught them, a range of relaxation techniques, positive mindset, perspective tools from the age of 4 upwards to help them understand and be at peace with and comfortable with their own emotions. And for me, it was really important that it was for every class in the school. It was really important that I wasn't just working with the kids that were obviously struggling, because those children 9 times out of 10 will get extra help anyway. The kids that I was trying to reach with the program were the children that look normal, in inverted commas, the children that look happy, confident, fine, that smile at the teacher nicely, that join in, that do their work, but that inside feel like crap, because that's who I was when I was a child. I was a well-behaved, smiley, happy child, except I didn't feel like that inside at all. And those were the kids that I wanted to reach with the schools program. So it was really important for me. Our schools program is a whole school program. It's not just for the kids that are struggling, and it's not just for one class that's going through a difficult time. It's for the whole school. If you can learn this kind of information and these kind of tools at those younger ages, then you stand in much better stead to walk through the rest of your life, being able to cope with difficult things as they come at you. Because let's face it, life is full of difficult things. It's not about negating the difficult stuff, and it's not about avoiding it, and it's not about pretending that it doesn't happen. It's absolutely about setting yourself up to be able to cope with the difficult stuff as and when it comes through your life. And so I put that schools program together. I ran it for that one school, and they freaking loved it. Of course they did. They loved it. The kids loved it. The teachers loved it. I did a 2-hour training session with the teachers after the 4 weeks with the children so that they knew why I'd been jumping around in their classrooms like a nutcase, and they knew the theory behind that. And they knew why the techniques I was teaching the children were going to work but also so that the teachers had those tools and techniques at their fingertips too, because the techniques aren't children specific, they are human being specific. They're not age specific. They are tools that anybody of any age can use to help themselves deal with, cope with their emotions and build their resilience. So it was important for me too that the teachers had access to that. And then I thought, genius of geniuses, I thought, let's do the parents too. So that's one of the options with the schools program, is that we run a workshop for the parents of the school as well, so that then they can use those tools, but also so that that child is completely surrounded by grown-ups who know and understand the tools and techniques that they've been taught, the information that that child has been given to help them grow their emotional resilience. That to me was ridiculously important. And so I started delivering the schools program. I was delivering workshops to businesses. And then I was starting to get inquiries from schools hundreds and hundreds of miles away from where I lived. My own children were small. And I didn't want to put my kids in breakfast club and after school club so that I could travel hundreds of miles every week to help the kids in another school. And so I sat down and thought, right, how am I going to do this? Because I want to help all the children in the world, obviously. How am I going to do it? And the franchise idea popped into my head. And so I set my first group up about 5 or 6 years ago, my first franchise group, and I trained my first 6 Happiness Club trainers in different areas of the UK to deliver our business workshops and deliver our schools program in their own locality, so that we could spread this work. And also the added benefit then for that was that I was then helping other people who wanted to be self-employed. Most of the Happiness Club trainers to date are women. So empowering other women to start their own businesses, to have something that they could build from scratch. That would be the most fulfilling work that they've ever done, the most satisfying work. I cannot tell you the satisfaction and the sense of reward that you get from doing the 4-week school program in a primary school, particularly for me. The children, when they see you come in every week, the smiles on their faces, you get, oh, it's the happiness lady. Brilliant. The smiles on their faces, but also they will come up to you in the corridor. I'm working in the school at the moment, and I arrived for week 2 last week. And I literally walked in the doors of the school, and this young chap who must have been about 8 or 9 came up to me and said, "Joe, I've been doing everything you taught us last week." And I said, "Awesome, dude. That's brilliant. Well done." He said, "When you were in our classroom, you told us all the things you were glad about, and you got to 14 things. I got to 20. I beat you." And he was chuffed to bits with himself that he'd beaten me in terms of how many things he could be glad about in his life. And he was doing it every day before he went to bed. And he just had this brilliant, just the biggest smile on his face, knowing that he was doing this stuff. And it just gave me such a warm glow through my whole body, not just in my heart, through my whole body, knowing that I had even helped one child to feel amazing about themselves and their lives. There literally is no feeling like it. And so the Happiness Club trainers span the UK. There's about 15 of us at the moment, and we're in different areas of the UK, all delivering the same work. Some of the trainers do this work full time. Some of them do it part time alongside a part time job. Some of them already have a business that is in the coaching or therapy or counseling kind of space. And some of them have done absolutely nothing like this before in their lives and are doing this from scratch. Once the 6-month training course is done, so it starts with an initial 6-month training course in which I train you in the theory and the background to our business workshops and to the schools program. And then I train you in the structure of both of those things. And I train you in how to deliver both of those things. We deliver our work in a very specific way. We use a lot of storytelling. We use a lot of analogies. We use a lot of examples to make the content engaging for people so that they remember it. So there's a technique that I teach that I could literally teach you in 2 minutes. but it takes about 10 minutes to teach it because I weave a story around it. But what that means is the people in that room remember that technique because they remember the story. If I just taught it to you in 2 minutes, you'd forget it 5 minutes after you walked out the room. We teach in a very specific way. So I teach all of the trainers how to do all of that. And then we support them. We work with them over the next however many years they decide to stay as a Happiness Club trainer to build a business that works for them, not a business that works for me, because I built my business around my kids and I worked it around being a one-to-one therapist, and that was ace. But not everybody's in the same boat as me. So we work together. We have monthly one-to-ones, we have quarterly top-up training days, and we work together, constant communication between all the trainers to build a business that works for you. So if you want to do this work full-time, you absolutely can. The work is there. You are in charge of your own marketing, sales, business development, but we support you. We give you all the resources you need to do all of those things. And we support you and help you to build a business that works for you. So you can do this part-time, you can do it full-time, you can do it around a job, you can do it from scratch, you can do it around a family, around your children, you can build it up over several years as your children grow. Whatever works for you, that's the point, is to build a business that you love running. Because if you love running it, guess what? You'll run it and you'll deliver the work. And that's the important bit to me, is that you're then going out and delivering the work and helping as many children and as many people in the workplace as humanly possible. So that's it. That's what the Happiness Club franchise is. That's how it works. I would love for you to come do this with me. There are numerous places in the UK where we don't have Happiness Club trainers currently. One of them being Liverpool, another the Wirral. There are the home counties, the West Country, London. Those are the areas that I am particularly looking for franchisees in. If anything I've said has sparked your interest and you'd like to know more about becoming a Happiness Club trainer, drop me a message or click the link in the comments and we'll send you the brochure.